Good morning, everyone. My name is Cassandra Williams of Cassandra Williams Enterprise. I am a woman that wears many hats, including victory coach. And as your victory coach, I help wives, busy professional women, and kingdom leaders build a life that they've always dreamed about and live there. Just because I'm called to minister to women through my coaching does not mean that you guys will not get something from this broadcast. So hang in there with me, okay? Um, I'm out here every Tuesday through Friday with the morning tea. And what is the morning tea? After this tea, you will feel empowered. I hope that you will get some encouragement, and I hope I'll educate you on something just a little bit. Um, that I want you to act. I want you to be moved to action. After this broadcast, I want you to go out and I want you to apply this information to your life. Good morning, Leah. Good morning, Mommy. Thanks for coming in this morning. Good morning over here on Periscope. And what we're going to be talking about today is what will you how will you handle it? What are you doing? With the state of the world right now, I'm not going to ask you today how you're handling it, right? Because some of us would be like, coach, I'm not handling it very well. I'm not doing good. We've been in the house too long, all of these things that are going on. But I'm going to ask you this question. How will you act? How will you act on the other side of COVID-19? How will you act on the other side of when racial reconciliation happens? When we're not fighting, when we're not in the streets, when we're able to come together, how will you act? Because you can't take you can't take this mindset into your new season. So how will you act? And I want to talk to you today about Job. Okay. Um Job was caught up in, and I'm gonna just summarize Job's life. Job was an upright man before God, right? And racism is just as bad here. Is it? Yeah, it's bad everywhere. And but on the other side, how will we act? How will we respond to that? Once we start to see strides, we've got to implement new things. We got to implement new legislation. We've got to implement new mindsets. It starts with us. It's not going to come from the government down. It's come from the people up. Okay. If we're going to end racism, it's going to come from the people up. And so we're talking about Job. Satan came to God and he was, talking to God. And God said, have you considered? I used to get harassed as a child going shopping. Wow. Have you considered my servant Job? Now, Job wasn't there. Job couldn't speak for himself. Job couldn't even, say anything. It was God and Satan. And God said, have you considered my servant Job? And he said, yeah, I've considered him, but you got a hedge of protection around him. I can't get to him. And God said, okay, I'll lower the hedge. Things happening that he had no control over. Things happened that he didn't even ask for. Things happened and he didn't do anything wrong. Do some of you feel like that right now? That things have happened and you're sitting here going, God, all I was doing was living for you. I was praying. I was doing everything that you told me to do. And bam, this right here. You want to know how you got here? You were considered? That's how you got here. That's how we are in this moment. We were considered. And so he lost his children, he lost his livestock, he got sick, his wife turned on him. Hey, can any of y'all relate? His wife turned on him and said, Job, listen, I don't know what you did. Just curse God and die. How about that? Just curse God. And even with that, he was like, woman, you foolish. Go away. Go over there. And so sometimes you got to make a stance because people won't understand They started blaming him. His friends turned on him. He fell into a place. Good morning, Brother Michael. Thanks for coming in. He fell into a place of depression. He looked at God and was like, listen, God, I was serving you. You know how we do. I was serving you. I don't understand. I don't think I deserve this. I don't know why I ended up right here in this place, in this space. Why is my money funny? They seem like they getting blessed. Why my marriage looking crazy? They not even living for you and they seem happy. Why can't I find a job? Why is this? Why? And Job fell into that place of depression and anger, and God had to get him all the way together. God said, wait a minute, hold on, wait. Where were you when I made the heavens and earth? Where were you when I put the stars in the sky? Where was you at when I was creating everything? And so it's sometimes it's like, okay, God, God will get you. Listen, have God ever had to get you all the way together? He's had to get me together. And he'd be like, wait, hold on. And I don't mind you telling me you angry, and I don't mind you telling me, good morning, you Tiki. Thanks for coming in. I don't mind you. Listen, I don't mind you telling me that you're angry right now, but don't get too beside yourself, because God will get you all the way together. Because He'll say, "Was you there when I put the stars in the sky? Were you there when I created heaven and earth? Were you there?" And we have to be like, no, I wasn't there. And so we see, his friends turned on him. But Joe, what did you do? Now, these were people that walked with him, that knew he was upright, knew he didn't do anything. They said, well, you must have some secret sin or something. What did you do? What do you do? How will you act when your friends turn on you because you're... God had a conversation with Satan and said, have you considered my servant? He just got inserted in there. How will you respond when people come and start questioning your walk? What will you do when people start questioning your motives? What will you do when people start talking behind your back and discussing your life? How will you act? How will you respond to that? And then when we pick up in chapter 42, we see Job has went through all this stuff. All of it. Job went through all this stuff. And we see him come to a place of repentance before God. And he said, God, I've been speaking about things I didn't understand. God, basically he's saying, look, I'm sorry. I didn't understand what was going on. I've been speaking out of turn. I submit to your will. I submit to your way. In 2020, have you looked at God and said, God, I submit to your will. God, I submit to your way. God, I don't understand COVID-19. I don't understand this racial unrest and social injustice. I don't understand what's going on in the earth right now, but I submit to your will. I submit to your leading. I submit to your direction. I submit to what you're doing. God, I'm a yielded vessel before you. And so Job 42, we're going to pick up at verse 10. After Job had prayed for his friends. Now remember them same friends that turn their back on you. How you going to act? How will you act? The same friends that turned on you, the same friends that said you must have sinned, the same friends that said you did something wrong, the same friends that was like, it says, after Job had prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his prosperity and doubled his former possessions. All his brothers and sisters and prior acquaintances, all these people that was not there during the battle, all these people that was not there while he was going through his trial, all the people that was not there to support him in his time of need, all those people, good morning, Kamita, thanks for coming in, all those people came and dined with him in his house. Now, are you going to let them in your house? How are you going to act? How will you act? He sold him and comforted him over all the adversity that the Lord had brought upon him. So some of the things that you're going through right now, God allowed it. It's for your making, not for your breaking. This season, y'all, if you really take notice, if you really look at this season of what is going on, there's been some blessings. There's been some benefits. It's pushed you into some places. It's helped you reach a different level. If some people, it was only to it's pushed you into a different place of prayer. Okay. But some of you, it pushed you into a different place of prayer. Some people, it pushed you into a different place of entrepreneurship because you were comfortable where you were. You wouldn't move. You wouldn't do. It's made you step out of your comfort zone. But when it says that, it says him over all the adversity that the Lord had brought upon him. And we were like, well, the Lord wouldn't do that to me. Listen. Remember in the very beginning, Satan and God was talking, and God said, have you considered my servant Job? So today I want you to put your name in there. Have you considered my servant Michael? Have you considered my servant Leah? Have you considered my servant Kamita? Have you considered my servant Elvira? Have you considered my servant Cassandra? Have you considered my servants in the United States? Have you considered my servants in the world? Have you considered them? Because my people going to stand up for me. My people won't bow down. My people won't be moved. Mine. Have you considered them? And when I thought about that, when I read that verse and it says all the adversity that the Lord had brought upon him, I thought about it in 1 Samuel 16:14, and it said, and an evil spirit from the Lord came and troubled Saul. And an evil spirit from the Lord came and troubled Saul. And this is when we see David having to come and play. We see for him having to David had to play to drive the spirit away from Saul. But the spirit came, God allowed it. God allowed the spirit, the evil spirit, to trouble Saul. And then Matthew 4:1, it says, and the spirit led Jesus up into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. So I don't want you to always think that the spirit is going to lead you in places that are comfortable for you. Sometimes the spirit, you can be led into some places that you be like, Lord, for real? Days and 40 nights. And now he's led up to be tempted and tested by the enemy. And of course he went for, his stomach. The first thing he was like, listen, the man is hungry. Turn them stones into bread. And he said, no, I should not live. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Right. And so I wanted to pull those two scriptures out because I want you to see that just because it's bad doesn't mean God isn't in it. Y'all, God is still in control. God is in control of what's going on right now in your life personally, and God is in control of what is going on right now in our life collectively. God is in control. Now, my question to you, can you be like Job? Because I want you to go back to Job 42. Have you come to a place of repentance? Have you come to that place where you're beside, you threw it yourself? Have you come to that place where you like, God, I know what you're doing and it's bigger than me. So let me get over me and I'm going to submit. And then that's when Job prayed. That's when he prayed. And when he prayed that prayer of repentance first, then God went and checked his friends. And then he said, now, Job, now you go pray for them. How will you act? Because y'all, there's some people y'all gonna have to pray for. There's some people you're gonna have to speak into their life. There are some people that hurt you. There's some people that almost broke you. There's some people that walked away when they should have stayed. There's some people that have done some things in this season of your life. And you like, and you can't even imagine. But it said after he prayed, and then he had to, not only did he let them come back, he let all the sisters, brothers, sisters, and prior acquaintances, because you ain't heard nothing from any of these people from the beginning. They was all at a party, you know, they all was eating and carrying on, but you don't hear about them all throughout Job's story until the very end when they're back together eating at his house again, right? And he said, but they didn't come empty-handed, y'all. And each one gave him a piece of silver and a gold ring. So the Lord blessed Job's latter days more than his first. Can I tell you that some people are going to come back with some stuff? But how will you act? How are you going to act? Good morning, Ashley. How are you going to act when these people come back? When God turns your situation around, are you going to be selfish? Are you going to be unforgiving? Are you going to have that get back spirit? Are you going to be, how will you act on the other side? I know we're not there yet, but can I tell you mentally, you've got to prepare for God to bless you. You've got to prepare for the other side. You've got to prepare to live. Because everything here's the thing, when we go look at what's going on with the race, with everything that's going on with racism, if we're going to truly come together, what does that look like? What does the other side look like? Because guess what? We've got to start applying those principles now. If you want racial equality, then guess what? You start living like you have racial equality now. Are we there yet? No, we're not. In a lot of areas, no, we're not. But that doesn't mean you don't live your life like you don't want it, like you don't believe. Because what are we fighting for if you don't believe it's going to happen? So your life should line up with what you want. Your life should line up with what you believe in God to do. Your life and your actions should line up with where you're going. And so Job never lost faith. Now listen, he kind of got beside himself a little bit and was like, Lord, listen, I listen, can we talk? And that's okay. But God will check you and he'll be like, listen, you weren't there. You don't know. And Job had to be like, okay, my bad. Read Job 42. He was like, my bad. I've been talking about stuff I ain't got no business talking about. And God will get you there. Okay. But how will you act on the other side? When reconciliation comes in every area of your life, when God heals your finances, when he heals your body, when he heals your marriage, when he heals your mindset, when he heals whatever it is that you feel like, God, I need you to move. When he moves, how will you act? How will you treat people? How will you treat those that you thought should have been there? Can I tell you that some people can't handle what you're walking through right now? Can I help you with that? Can I help you release some people? Can I help you understand there is, when you go into the hospital, okay? When you go into the hospital, ladies, to have a baby, there is lots of doctors and nurses in the hospital. But there are only specific people that can come in the room with you. There are specific people that are qualified to help you deliver your baby. There are specific people, knee surgery or foot surgery or something like that. That same doctor that delivered the baby is not the doctor that's going to help you. Okay, I need you to hear me. That same doctor that delivered the baby is not the same doctor that's going to work on your knee. The same doctor that worked on your knee is not the one that's going to be in there when the baby is born or when you have to go in and have eye surgery. They're different. So this season in your life, there are different people that are designed and created for this moment to help you. Don't get mad at the ones that can't. It's not their job. It's not their position. They're not qualified. And we're so busy getting mad at people. How will you act? Will you act like Job? Will you throw a big party and let them come eat? Not to show off, not to showboat, but just to celebrate what God has done. Can we do that? Can we be like Job, and can we celebrate, just to celebrate what God has done? That we're not going to be petty patty. Because there's some people you got to release. You're gonna have to release them. There's some people from your past. You got to release them. They did not have the capacity. They were a part of you getting here in the earth, but they did not have the capacity to love you the way you deserve to be loved. They did not have the capacity to do for you the way you wanted to be, do the things that need to be done. But can I tell you something? You're here. Can I tell you that there were people divinely positioned to help you get to where you are right now? There were some boys that were fatherless, some fatherless children that did not have a dad. But there was a man on the football field, a coach, an uncle, or somebody that stepped in to say, you know what, he can't do it, but I'll do it. I love to hear Pastor John Hanna's story of how his father wasn't there, but all throughout his life, God placed men that would father him. So what his father couldn't do, there were other men that were willing to do it, that were willing to stand in the gap, so that he didn't lack anything. You may not have gotten it from the person that you wanted it from, but can I tell you, you got everything that you need? There may be a deficit right now for someone that you're not getting what you need to get right now. But can I tell you, if you turn your face to God, God will meet the need. God will place people in your life to give you that love and support that you're needing right now. How will you act on the other side of COVID? Side, when we get to the point of racial reconciliation, how will you act? Because I'm not going to continue to talk about where we are. I'm not going to continue to talk about where we've been. I am talking about where we're going. How will you act when we get there? Will you stand in judgment on the other side? Are you going to take the same mentality and mistrust to the other side? Are you going to take your same mentality to the other side? How will you act? We're going to be like Job. Good morning, sis. Thanks for coming in. We're going to be like Job. And after Job prayed for his friends, we're not going to hold it against them that they didn't understand our process. We're not going to hold it against them. And after Job prayed for his friends, the Lord restored his prosperity and doubled his former possessions. After you repented, after you are obedient to what God tells you to do, after you've gone through the process, can I tell you, God is going to restore? Where we are right now is not where we will be. This is not the end of the story. This is just a chapter along the way. How will you act when he turns the page? How will you act on the other side of this? How are you acting right now? How are you acting in the midst of this? Are you holding fast to your faith? Or have you begun to do it as the world does it? Have you said we were better? Are you longing for a place that you were never created to be? Some people are longing for, they want to go back to, I want it to be like it was. You was crying when it was like that. You didn't like that either. I just didn't know it would be like this. God is moving us to better. And just because you don't like it, just because it doesn't feel good, doesn't mean that it's not the process. 19 slowed you down. Some of you, it puts you into a place where you really saw what your priorities should be. Some of you, it's brought you to a place of, I'm okay. And some of you, you've had to look in the mirror and be like, girl, get yourself all the way together because you didn't like what you saw in the mirror. But can I tell you, Job came out with double the kids, double the animals, double. He had more in his latter years than he had before he went in. Can I tell you that God is trying to give you more? Okay, you lost some things. God never takes something from you and does not give you better for it. I'm a witness. Every time God ever asked me for anything and I cried and I didn't want to because I like to hold on to what's mine. But there are some times I had to give some things to God and I had to say, here, you can take it. I don't need it. I don't want it. But can I tell you that once I released it and I let it go, can I tell you that God gave me more than I could ever, that exceeding and abundantly above all I could ever ask or even think? I'm living in the middle of listen, listen. In the middle of a pandemic, I'm living exceedingly and abundantly above all. I'm living it right now. So how will you act on the other side? Because some people are going to have to come back. There's some people you're going to have to pour into. There's some people you're going to have to pray. There's some people you're going to have to pray for. There's some people you're going to have to help them come from behind and come up into their wealthy, healthy, whole place. You're going to have to help them. God is going to use you in the life of those people, the same people that talked about you, the same people that ran you in the ground, the same people that dogged you out, the same people that was looking at you side eye, that same person, you're going to have to pray. How will you act? And after Job prayed, then God blessed him. Once he was obedient, God blessed him. And then all the people that disappeared and wasn't there during his story, he's like, I'm having a party. Y'all coming over? How will you act? So this has been your morning tea. Thank you to those that have gotten here by way of a tag, a share, or invite this morning. Thank you for those that have shared out this broadcast. I don't take it lightly. I really out that God has given me. My name is Cassandra Williams. For those of you that don't know me, I am a victory coach. So a lot of times when you come into my broadcast, I will mention where we are. I may allude to where we've been, but I'm always going to be pushing you to where you're going because I believe in victory. I believe in this is not where we will end up. This is not our resting ground. This is not where we will stay, but there's a better place, the place that we've always dreamed of. And we're going to get there. I want to help you get there. You better say it, Ben. Amen. Amen, Ashley. I'm glad you came in this morning. So we are moving into a place of victory. And so God had me ask y'all today, how you gonna act? How you gonna act when you get over there? Because you can't wait till you get there and then adjust your sails, adjust your mindset, adjust how you're living. No, you adjust it now. Start walking like you're already there. Start talking like you're already there. Start living like you're already there. So once it shows up, you're ready for it. You're prepared for it. That's why sometimes y'all look like a fish out of water, because you're not acting like your season. You're not acting like your current, I'm not going to say that. You're not acting like your current circumstances. You're acting like your season, your new season, your due season, that place that you're going to. These current circumstances, this light affliction that we're feeling right now, we're going somewhere. Remember the children of Israel on their way to the promised land. But see here, listen, can I tell you something? If you stay with me, if you stay connected to the morning tea, we're not getting stuck in the wilderness, y'all. This is just a wilderness experience. We're not getting stuck. We're going to keep going. We're pressing forward. We're moving forward. We're forward moving. Good morning, Megan. Good morning. Good morning, Patrice. Thanks for coming in. We're forward moving, okay? We're not getting stuck in the wilderness. Mm-mm. Current circumstances do not have to dictate or determine your season. Yesterday it rained. Doesn't mean it's not summer. Doesn't mean the sun won't shine. It just meant yesterday we had a downpour. It rained for a little bit. And when you look at your life, that's the way I want you to look at it. Oh, it's just raining a little bit. If you got to go out, but don't stop. Don't quit. Don't settle. Don't sit down. Don't do any of that. Keep your eyes focused. So if you need to connect with me, you can connect with me at www.thecassandrawilliams.com. That's my email. That's my website. You can all my email information, all my coaching programs, t-shirts, books, everything is out there for that. The Lions Den is out there, where we will be going in this weekend, bit.ly, Lions Den 2020. We will be going into the Lions Den because I want to teach you how to live on the other side. What other side of what, Coach? I want to teach you how to lay down the weights you've been carrying, those sacred secrets, those mistakes that you made, all that negative stuff that you've been carrying. I want to give you a place to lay it down. And then I want to teach you how to live without it. You don't have to live with abandonment. You don't have to live with anxiety. You don't have to live with fear. You don't have to live with feeling like I can't do anything right. You don't have to live with that. It doesn't have to be a jacket. It doesn't have to be a bag. It doesn't have to be an accessory that you carry around all the time. You can live free. I'm a witness. You can live without all that stuff. And so I want to teach you how to do that. People will teach you how to get delivered, but they never teach you how to live delivered. They never teach you how to stay delivered. They get you to the place, you know how they get you to, your parents took you to college, they dropped you off, and then they left you there. I want to teach you how to live there. I don't want to just drop you off in that place. I want you to know how to live free, how to live on the other side of trauma. You don't have to stay in that place, y'all. So bit.ly, Lions Den 2020, that's happening this Sunday, that we will be in the Lions Den. And I'll be giving you the tools and the techniques to live on the other side of freedom. Because remember, I want you to build the life that you've always dreamed of, but I want you to live in it. So I want to teach you how to live. And on Monday, ladies, Wise Wives Build is having a worship night. We are taking our place on the front line as worshipers. Whenever God was getting ready to send people into battle, he put the worshipers on the front line. So we are having a night of worship. So I would love for you guys to connect with me as well. for that, let me put that one on the screen as well. 1 second. That one, bit.ly / join WWB. So if you know any ladies, any Esthers in waiting, any wise wives that need to be in there, it's going to be a night of refreshing, a night of just laying before God, a night of worship. That's all we're going to do. We're going to come in, we're going to worship. Okay. So you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And I want you to really think about it. Today your homework is I want you to think about, how are you going to act on the other side? What is on the other side of this? How will you act? And you need to align your behavior. If you believe what God is saying, if you believe where you're going, align your behavior. Okay. So I love you guys to life. I will see you guys. Yes, I will see you on tomorrow for another cup of tea. Have an amazing rest of your day. I will talk to you guys on tomorrow.